Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. It should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Monday, the 6th, I guess. Markets are looking pretty good. I cannot show you yet, though. We have a little bit of platform set up to do here this morning. But just over the weekend, Donald Trump, he sounds pretty hopeful this morning on Twitter. And things are looking good. Russia and Saudi Arabia appear to be trying to get some deal together. It is not going as well as they were all claiming on Friday, but they do appear to be trying to put something together and that they may be close to a deal. Also, we're coming up on the crest. Like, next 2 weeks supposedly is going to be the point where at least New York will have the highest number of cases, of growth in cases, and after that, the growth in cases should decline. We'll see. But, it's looking like that the social distancing measures and everything else is working, and that it is not going to be nearly as bad as some had maybe thought or even, let's say, hoped. Because let's be honest, some people really wanted this to be bad. Okay, so anyways, I have a little bit of platform set up to do here. So you're just going to continue, you're just going to be able to look at my lovely face here while we're setting that up. Because I don't want to show you. Yeah, could be sensitive information. So it looks like I have to reset up my yeah. Looks like I have to reset up everything. So yep, so it looks like the account is listed as inactive, so we have to come in here. Oh, come on. I hate it when Google tries to protect me. You know what's something that really pisses me off? Is if I'm on my phone or even now on search and I visit a URL and then it doesn't actually take me to that URL. It takes me to a Google, thing that is a container over that URL. That is really annoying. Okay, so I think that y'all been let's go here. So if you guys haven't looked in Discord, we have a little in the announcements channel, we have a little poll to see which data feed you guys like. It really looks like that you like CQG though. So since that's the one that we're doing, new CME micro futures, blah blah blah, as low as 40 cents. Oh no, that's all wrong. Once you include the platform fee in there, it is not what they say. Okay. Oops. So. No top of book bundle option with Rhythmic. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to do CQG. Bundle. Let's see here. This right there. Cash index data. Hold on. Let's see here. Which ones do we want? Oh, let's refresh this. Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, the bundle is $30 now. It used to be $15. All of them market depth. Yeah. And then ICE exchange. Oh yes, that's what we want. US dollar, $117. Good grief, man. Is trading euro dollar, or not euro dollar, is just trading the dollar index like super profitable or something? Because why would it be $117 a month? Explain this to me. To get the volatility index, you need $13 a month. Okay, but we're really looking for internals. $6. Okay. Doesn't like the captcha. The live captcha part is not going. Boo. Okay, I guess maybe we need to try a different web browser. Brokers, this is a constant problem that I see. Doesn't work in all of the browsers, or you just get these other kinds of weird errors. I've had some where it doesn't matter what browser I do, it's like it just straight up doesn't work. Yeah, so here I'm getting the same fucking thing. It says protected by reCAPTCHA, but it's like not letting me do the captcha. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Failed to validate? I just don't understand. Mm-mm. Is there something wrong with captions? With the reCAPTCHA? Okay, that one worked. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Wondered, by the way, how's the volume on the microphone? Because I'm not. Yeah. See, there's a little higher or a little lower. I don't know.
Radha Krishna Krishna says hi. Radha Krishna Krishna says sir.
Hey, how are you? See, I do think that I need to turn it up all the way. I think that next thing on my list might be a new audio interface. Honestly, I think this interface works really good for audio stuff. Like it's super fast is what I really like about it. But I don't think it has enough microphone boost. So Krishna, I'm setting up a new data feed here this morning. So we gotta wait a little bit to get some data. AMP is gonna have to Well, actually, we don't need to do that. So now that we got that taken care of, I think I can just come over here and we can continue to use the feed they were using last week. That's what we'll do. Just attach IQ feed to it. There you go. And this. Can you help me? Also, what's the issue you're having? Certainly can try. You don't have to give me any money. Just tell me what your issue is. Eric Ages, how are you? Hey, you're nice and early this morning, eh? Let's see here. So they're at 25.80. See, remember like 3 days ago when this whole oil deal thing came out, I thought that we would get to 25.50. And we did. Finally. Took them a bit though. Clearly not in the time frame that I wanted them to do it. No, we should turn on the auto read here. Yeah, I wonder if I'm getting I hear a little bit of buzz. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Probably not, but I can, and I'm trying to figure out why. Is it
Radha Krishna says thank you. Radha Krishna says sorry for asking.
this cord is touching something? Hold on. Let's try that. Now, Krishna, the way that this works is if you have a question, just ask. Just ask, and I'll try and answer the question in the best way that I can. There we go. That's a little better. Now I can't hear it anymore. You know what was happening was my microphone cord was a little bit too close to my UPS unit, and so I was hearing the electrical noise from my UPS
Radha
unit.
Krishna says I am from India.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of guessed.
Vincenzo C says I'm going to wear a mask while in the chat room.
You need to wear. You should wear a mask. You know what? I should be wearing a
Radha
mask right now.
Krishna says how can I trade?
How do you trade? Well, that's a really broad question. That's a really broad question. I think so. Here's the first thing, Krishna. This takes a lot of work and a long time to get
Radha
good.
Krishna says which is best.
And when I say a long time, I mean
Radha
like
Krishna
years.
says Bitcoin R.
Well, Bitcoin is
Air Cages says how do I make money?
Man. Bitcoin is a difficult to make money day trading, depending on the environment. But very often you will just lose money trying to day trade Bitcoin. If you want to get into Bitcoin, I'd recommend trying much longer time frame trades. And right now, I'm not so sure that Bitcoin is the best space to be in. Let's see. I was just looking at this news feed. U.S. government bond yields follow stocks higher on coronavirus hopes. Cool. Okay. Yes. Treasuries are down. That's correct. Back to where they were on the 31st. Which, by the way, is still ridiculously high. Still ridiculously high. Okay. So, yeah.
Air Cages says, Seth, what does your scouter say about Bitcoin's power level?
Let's see. Oh, it's 7190. It's 7190. Did you see the TikTok that I made? Is that why you're asking me that? The funny thing is, when I got on TikTok and I was looking for a sound to use for that, I couldn't find a sound for it, and it didn't seem like it was like a thing. But now, ever since I made that one, like, it recognizes it, and now it shows me other ones that are similar. I tell you what, the index is a lot slower today. It's pretty slow overall.
Radha Krishna says, can I get free Bitcoin?
I'm sure that there are ways to get free Bitcoin, but
Air Cages says yes.
I don't know of any particular things. I'll warn you though, lots of people out there will try and scam you, trying to offering free Bitcoins. Okay, let's see here. I should change this over to like all mail.
Cool. Radha Krishna says, I have been scammed.
You have been scammed? Well, don't give people money. That's the first rule. Anybody asks you for money, better be a reputable
Radha
organization.
Krishna says, so sir, I am asking.
Well, I don't have
Cages
any
says, at
Bitcoin
least
to
you
give
got
you.
free Bitcoin. Winston's mom says, good morning, speculator Seth. How was your weekend? How is the baby, and are you ready for this week? Hello, everyone watching who knows. I will now say, please hit like for Seth's channel.
So the baby's doing pretty okay. He was sleepy yesterday. Like Saturday, he was really awake, and then yesterday he was super sleepy. Oh wow, look at the index and moving up. It's moving up. What's with this? Curious. Very curious. But as for me being ready for this week, I'm going to say no, because we still got some setup stuff to do. So we're just kind of waiting for this setup email to come. Last time I did this, it didn't take very long, so.
Radha Krishna says, I don't have money.
Well, I can't help you, buddy. See, rule number one is you don't, if you're going to give somebody money, it better be a reputable
Radha
organization.
Krishna says, I lost $300.
So I would consider yourself lucky and
Radha Krishna says, in scam.
learn better and not fall for scam next time. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. I can't help you with that. If you got, listen, I can give you recommendations
Air
on
Cages
trading.
says, do you have a job?
I can give you recommendations on trading and stuff, but I can't save you from your own stupidity. Sorry. Listen, I've been scammed too. You should consider yourself lucky, right? I paid a guy to come and do work on my yard. He gave a good quote. It was a reasonable quote, but it was a good quote. And then they came over and they did a little bit of work to get the paycheck, and then they disappeared. And they never finished the job, and so they didn't get the final paycheck that was the rest of the money. And I've tried everything to try and get it back, including some court action, but they can't serve him papers. They can't find him to serve papers, and so I can't. Apparently, there's nothing I can do about it, or at least I've come to the conclusion that there's nothing I can do about it because I've tried a bunch of different things. Vincenzo says we've all been scammed. You're gonna say you're gonna give me some sort of crazy government conspiracy stuff now, aren't you? Oh, IQ feed does just drops those frames, man. It drives me crazy.
Winston's mom says travelers, gypsies? Speculator Seth, we had
Gypsies.
issues with them in Florida, but we didn't get scammed. Our older neighbors did. Grifters.
No, they were. I think they were Samoan, actually. I think they were Samoan. I tell you what, like the thing that's so funny to me, the thing that's so dumb about all this is that they had done the hard work. Like the thing that was hard was digging a French drain, and they started it and didn't finish it. And I don't think that this guy like regularly scams people. I mean, it's possible, but I think that when he told me that he intended on doing the job, and then other things came up, and he just kind of like decided not to do it to save face. And the thing was, is later these guys came and they did more work and were like, you can pay us to finish it. And I'm like, no, give me my money back first because you don't have grass or anything. So they came for one day and they did hard work, and then they disappeared. And I haven't seen them since. But like they'd done the hard work. I guess the thing was is that they would have to come up with the grass. But jeez. And I tell you what, it took a long time for me to finish the yard because of them. Waited on them so long, and then we didn't get the grass in until the fall. Like I lost so much time and money off of that guy. It's so frustrating. But I don't think there's anything I can do. It's so frustrating. Don't make me think about that. That's done and over with. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Grass is in the yard. The yard is looking pretty good.
Winston's mom says I am
Where this
surprised
goes,
with
I
all of
don't
this talk about Bitcoin. No one has brought up garlic coin.
know. I know, right?
Vincenzo C says the travelers are an interesting group.
That travelers.
Air Cages says I hear McDonald's is hiring.
You know what? All of the food places
Winston's
around me
mom
are
says
hiring.
Vincenzo C. Yes, they are. On reality TV, there is a show called My Big Gypsy Wedding, and watching those families get ready for a marriage was a hoot. People are funny in general all over the world.
Hello, Ace. How are you? Ace, I got a question for you. If we were able to get you, say, well, what would it be? I don't know what it would be. Well, let's just say they were able to get you like a few dollars off of commissions trading the ES. Would you switch? Because we got these guys from a new broker, EdgeClear, which are some of the founding members of Stage 5. And he's saying that you can get a group discount. So if we get like enough traders together, and by my calculations, we'd need about a dozen of us. But you get about a dozen of us, and we were just talking micro contracts, but like let's say there's a dozen of us on micro contracts. We're making like 2 or 3 trades a day. Then they could get the commissions down, and I mean like down, like 50 cents or something. My computer missed your question. I'm sorry, I'm like dropping frames all over the place. The question is, for a commission, less commission, would you switch? Because I'm kind of trying to, well, and really for all of you guys, right? Trying to judge how many people would be interested in going in to get a group discount with Edge Clear. So if we can get like 1 or 2 dozen guys to do it, could be worth it. That's why we're asking in the Discord what data feed people like. On Ninja or Sierra Chart, you'd be able to use Sierra Chart. You'd be able to use Ninja if you have a multi-broker license, but I don't think that yours is. And yes, I think so. Okay, cool. Here, let me show you them. Because they have a bunch of different platforms. No, that's not what we want. I want to see trading platforms. There we go.
Radhakrishna Krishna says work online job.
Yeah, most of those online jobs are scams too, though, or helping people scam. Okay, so here they have a setup. You can do the Sierra charts for 26 a month or whatever. So it's probably pretty similar to what you're paying for AMP. You know, here are the platforms that they have available. So you could do TradingView, Sierra chart, Bookmap. Of course, these are ones like R Trader and CQG Trader, kind of like okay. Jigsaw. I guess you could do Investor RT if you were rich and really wanted to spend $100 a month. You can do trading technologies too with them. CTS, multi-charts. Then you get into some of these ones that I don't know anything about. Inside Edge Trader, iBroker, QST. Never heard of them. These are the ones that are available to you. So probably with them, you'd go through Sierra charts. And got to run? Yeah, check you later. Anyways, so it would have to be like if you want to trade micros, $1,000 account minimum. But I think if you got some new traders together, that it would be worthwhile. Hope that it did submit. I don't know. Normally I would have gotten something by now. You need to raise $1,500? Well, I don't know if there's much I can do for you, man. That's a lot. You're not just going to raise $1,500 just doing random odd jobs around the internet, I'll tell you that. And you really shouldn't be trading if you don't have the risk capital. Can you help the ideas? Well, you would have to go. I mean, the only way that I know of making money online is, you start a YouTube channel or something. But that would take a long time before you'd start making money on it, I would be interested in that. What language does Sierra Charts use? Anyone know? Eric? So they use C++ basically. I believe it's C++. Or was it C#? No, I'm pretty sure it was C++. The way that their platform is set up is a little weird. There's some things about it that I don't like, but it's okay. You could use NinjaTrader with EdgeClear. It's just you would have to already own a NinjaTrader multi-broker license, which they don't sell anymore. But I'm pretty sure that you could use it for them. Honestly, though, from that list, probably Jigsaw is your best bet, especially once Jigsaw implements charts, which apparently is a oh my, hold on. We're okay. And just felt a small earthquake. Like that time I felt like I didn't feel a lot of shaking, but I felt like the initial crack. This is weird. Anyways, what was I saying? They're working on charts, they're coming. And then I think that Jigsaw would probably be a really great platform to go in on. $50 a month, but hey, you know what? So the E-mini has been seeing some really great legs up. I wonder if they're just gonna buy this. For some reason, I feel like my microphone isn't closer. It's not in the right position or something. But I remember bringing it down a little bit, and I didn't like that. So, I'm wondering. It just feels so quiet today. Delta Airlines announced late earlier this week that it is extending flight credits to May 31st, 2022. That's cool. Fauci says it is false to say U.S. has coronavirus under control. We are struggling. Yeah, no, that's not true. It is. It appears that the measures that we're doing are working, though. I think that's a big deal. We appear to be avoiding worst case scenario. Hmm. I must say, overnight action in the E-mini is actually quite messy. But then here this morning, we got this really clean leg up. I'm not quite sure what to think of it. And I'm definitely get a buy. Overall trend is buy. Okay, well there it just turned and that 10-minute bar is negative.
Air Cages says about time for another earthquake, am I right?
Yeah, well, you know what? There's been earthquakes all over the place. It appears to be like there was one event and it's kind of expanding. And I don't know if there's a bigger one coming somewhere in the world or what.
Ace Trade says at Winston's mom morning love.
Forex Live says trading conditions will thin out this week. Why is that? Trading conditions will be thinner this week as many participants head off the desks for holidays into the middle and end of the week. At the moment, as things get going, risk settlement is back on the rise, encouraged by upbeat reports about the coronavirus with possible signs of things peaking out. Can you imagine if this market has already hit bottom? I tell you what, I still think that it will be a slow thing, but maybe a really sharp V is possible. And a welcome development. I ain't gonna complain. I want the email. It should be coming. Breathe slowly, Seth. It's okay. I feel so anxious about it, though. It's a slow start, but it's all relative. I guess it's possible that things are stabilizing. Hmm. It feels weird. It just feels like something's wrong. Like I should be saying something or doing something.
Minster Games says good morning.
Oh, hey, good morning. That's a new name. Welcome. Hmm. Is it time to? Oh no, not quite. I was gonna say, is it time to roll over Bitcoin? But I think we already did that. So why is there like almost no volume in it? Hmm. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay, well, this bar is still saying somewhat negative. I don't know if I want to sell it. Doesn't seem to be right, but I guess it would be okay. In fact, not just okay, it would be really good to try and buy it here. So let's try it. A little bit of activity in the treasuries coming through. Actually, a lot of activity. Maybe they're going to come in short. Hmm. I think that we need to puke.
Arash says good morning.
Yeah, there it went down. Good morning. Might try it again if it decides to come snap back here. Okay. It's trying. Okay. Should come in here. Change some of these.
J-Dub says good morning. J-Dub says are you in any trades right now?
I was in one, but I got out of it. Oh, actually, no, I'm in it.
Winston's mom says good morning.
25.75.
Arash, have you been trading or are you interested in learning about trading? Most of them have been trading for a while. I have not. Lol. And Speculator Seth has a terrific channel.
I think that one needs to go too.
J-Dub says thoughts on oil price?
Well, I'm not an expert on oil, but it does look like they're set to recover. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you're new here and you don't understand the DOM, this column right here is the price, and you see this 25.75 here, and it's blue. That's where my position is from. And then the column to the left here, you see there's a 0, and then the blue numbers are how much you make, and the red numbers are how much you lose. So we're in on a long here. And so far it's going okay.
Kevin Wimmer says wait, did I get the wrong memo? Thought this is the anonymous Garlicoin buyer community.
No, that's not. We do have some garlic coin though. How is garlic coin doing? I still can't. I haven't been mining. 0.00356 dollars. So actually, okay, now I'm feeling another earthquake. Man.
Winston's mom says maybe not. I heard this weekend that Saudi and Russia have paused once again in their negotiations, but Trump sounded optimistic this weekend in the briefings, so maybe there will be confidence.
Looks like Bitcoin is kind of hit a
Arash
floor.
says mostly paper trading. I don't have the margins to trade. It's telling me that for 1S I need $13,200.
Well, have you tried the micro? Man, that's a lot of margin.
Kevin Wimmer says Thursday is OPEC meeting for the oil guys here.
If you trade with a futures specific broker, you
J-Dub says what exactly are you trading? Not sure if I am following.
Okay, so let's pull up the pen here. Why is that dog crying? I can hear the dog.
J-Dub says thanks, Kevin.
After this, maybe you should go check on him. Okay, so this right here.
Arash says commission are too high in micro.
No. Listen, if you have the money to trade micros, then you trade micros, and if you have the money to trade e-mini, you trade e-mini. And yeah, the commissions as a percentage of what you get for the tick is higher, but you trade what you got to trade, and you can still be profitable with the micros. It's not really going to make a big difference. If you're trading ES, the ability to catch runners, if the micro ends up being so, tight that you're not making money, then that just means you need a better strategy. Not that I would like hit myself if like you're just breaking even or losing money off of the commissions on micros because you're new, you're trading, you're learning. It's okay, but the commissions are not so significant that.
Uzi Knesset says I don't get why they haven't returned margins to normal. Market conditions are nowhere near as bad as they were when they first raised them.
Yeah, well, they did bring them back down. I think that
Kevin
on a
Wimmer
lot of
says wait,
brokers it
which
is
broker
normal.
are you using? Margin got increased from $500 to $1,200 on AMP. 13,200 sounds crazy. SRE, this is not overnight margin?
Yeah, that sounds like it's either overnight margin or you need a new broker, bud. Okay, so anyways, this is the instrument that I'm trading. I'm trading S&P 500 micro futures. So every quarter point that the S&P 500 changes, I make or lose $1.25. Okay, I am long from right here, or let's highlight it differently. This is
Uzi
where I'm long
Knesset
from.
says NinjaTrader is providing real-time margin updates at their order desk site. I'd post a link, but ya know, YouTube.
And here is your profit and loss column. Shows you how much you're making or losing.
J-Dub says lol, I am in S&P 500 trade as well, but I am short. Lol.
Well, I'm about
Uzi Knesset
to
says right now
get
margin
out.
levels are at exchange initial margins, not intraday margins.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And that's the end of that one.
Kevin Wimmer says remove the spaces.
I'm sure it's easy to find on their website, or if you're doing it through NinjaTrader, you would have gotten the email that says. I don't know, like it's giving me the long signal again, but okay, yeah. We'll try it again. Sometimes that happens. That's interesting. Okay, so there must be two-way market for sure. I don't know if we get a two-way market, buying here does not necessarily make sense, huh? Would rather want to go and buy it down at
J-Dub says do you think
73.
the banks will have a tough time with the new loans they have to pick up?
Nah. I do think that all of this is going to make growth tough. See, that's what I was afraid of. I want to be going along here, not puking down here.
Uzi Knesset says I just posted the link. If it doesn't work, just Google NinjaTrader order desk updates.
Okay. Man, that dog. My dog is out there moaning because he wants somebody to let him out and let him outside. I don't know why he's being like that. So he knows that nobody will come and get him out until at least 8:30. Okay. So there was a little pushback by the buyers.
J-Dub says I just closed my cells. I can't deal with the markets today, man. It just moves too much.
Really? I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's slower, but it is really. Yeah, I don't know.
Kevin Wimmer says I know IB has crazy margins right now. A guy on Discord wrote margin for FDAX was €48,000 and $34,000 for NQ. This is really insane.
That is, yeah, a lot.
Winston's mom says today in history, and this one is for you, speculator Seth. 1830 Joseph Smith and 5 others organized the Church of Latter-day Saints in Seneca, New York.
Yeah, we did the anniversary thing yesterday. Like it's really slow and tight compared to days past, but seems pretty normal for the E-mini. But if we were saying that it's back to completely normal behavior, I would say no. Normally, we
J-Dub
would
says,
get a
lol, I
trend
love
right
the
now.
fun facts.
It would be we'd be getting a bit of a trend right now, but we're not. It's really um, kind of random behavior, ranging, difficult to find a spot. Oh my gosh, that dog. I don't want to let him out because it just teaches him bad habits. But I'm gonna go let him out. We'll be nice about it though.
Kevin Wimmer says, any reason by the way we had this huge up gap? I mean 110 points up from Friday's close. Winston's mom says, the last time I was in Seneca, NY, we were at a casino and the Seneca Indians were holding their annual powwow, and boy is that fascinating to see Indians at poker tables in feathers and war bonnets. RZH says, hi, good morning, son. J-Dub says, do you think some of the biotech companies that released news that they were working on a cure will get fined for saying stuff just to push their stock? Fake news?
Okay, let's go for us a little bit. I told him he was a bad dog. That's the meanest I can be. Any reason we had this huge gap up? Well, I think that
J-Dub
they're
says, do you
just
think
much
some
more
of the
hopeful.
biotech companies that released news that they were working on a cure will get fined for saying stuff just to push their stock? Fake news?
I mean, if they had
Winston's mom
news,
says, good morning, RZH, and how are things in your world? Are you okay in the toilet paper department? The all-important question, these days.
oh, we've been fine on toilet paper. No, so this whole deal between Russia and Saudi Arabia, they like canceled the meeting and everything, but there's like news reports that they're getting close to a deal and that they're trying to work on a
Uzi
deal.
Knesset says we use the 3 seashells now.
So I think that's a really big factor. You also got to remember that around 2550 we've traded a lot of volume over the past month anyways, so a little bit of it might just be, follow through on range. You know what I mean? Okay, well, I haven't really been paying too close attention to it, but I maybe should have taken a little bit on that off that move. It looks like there was a real stop run in the micros. Y'all's was short. Because once it's gotten up here, this 79 area, it's been actually been holding it really, really well. Donald Trump Jr. take a look back and retweet what the liberal media and Joe Biden said about the president's aggressive early response to the coronavirus. I don't know, man.
Winston's mom says 3 seashells ROFL. You can use them as little maracas as well. Bullock, see, it's a musical instrument, and it's a hygiene element.
I think with this politics right now, trying to go over and like who saw it first and responded correctly at the beginning and everything like that is like, are you kidding me? Like nobody really understood what was going on back then anyways. And the information that we had was very questionable. To try and come back and claim that you knew what was going on was like, I don't think that anybody in the mainstream media or mainstream politics really got it right. So to try and accuse the administration, well, they did everything they could to prevent it from getting here. It seems like that they didn't prepare enough for all of the testing they were going to have to do. But, you know, wasn't obvious at that time that testing was going to be the linchpin, you know? That and protective clothing. I doubt they ever make that mistake again. So how many times did I have to screw that up before it? Okay.
Kevin Wimmer says I am pretty happy with Germany's response so far. Yeah, we have 100,000 cases, but only 1580 deaths.
Yeah, that was really interesting. So one of the things is that on a per capita basis, Germany is actually really high. Now maybe that's because they're testing more. I don't know, but it seems like that Germany hasn't had as many deaths from it as many other places have. Um, this whole New York thing is, it's gonna be interesting. Hey, that was a really good run right there. So what are we getting here? Okay, 3.
Uzi Knesset says they start with virus test. Build database. Next will be immunity test. Build database. Then comes immunity certificates for who can and can't participate in the economy.
Immunity certificates? Nah, I don't think that would work. I don't think they would do that because then everybody would just go out and catch it all at once. Because they would have a real incentive to catch it.
J-Dub says, what do you think about Warren Buffett selling his shares in some of the airline companies? I am really surprised that they didn't sell at the beginning then buy back next month.
I am really surprised that he owned airlines to begin with. Listen, airlines is always a difficult industry to hold because there's so many things that impact them in terms of shocks. They're high risk. Like when all of the oil crises have happened, airline industries got hurt because that's a huge hit to their profit margins. Anytime that there's global instability, that's a possibility to hit them. And now the pandemic thing is on the radar.
Winston's mom says Tesla has a video on YouTube. Their engineers showed footage of a prototype ventilator the company is trying to make with auto parts.
Oh, that's interesting. Anyways, Warren Buffett has said before, I don't buy airline companies. And then they ended up buying them, and as soon as they bought them, it ends up blowing up in their face. Yeah. It's surprising that he bought them in the first place. To me. When I saw that he sold his Delta shares, I was like, well, what was he doing in
J-Dub
Delta
says,
to
do you
begin
think they
with?
will ever create an electric plane?
An electric plane? I don't know, man. That would be really hard because the batteries are really heavy. You would need much better battery technology to do it at a plane like that. Okay? So it's turning down the other way on us.
Kevin Wimmer says Boeing did really well though. More than tripled their price since the end of 2016.
Well, they did really well, and then they like totally screwed up. Boeing is not. I wouldn't consider an airline company though. They're a manufacturer, very different. Well, different enough. I would consider a different sector. But But I mean, go back to Warren Buffett. What kind of investing does he do and everything? He wants to own stuff for the long haul. And do you want to own Delta for the long haul? And I say no, because even though they'll get bailouts, and I think that they could bounce back, and they could bounce back hard. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now, 2 years from now, that airlines are doing really well and are like the darling of the S&P, and everybody's like, "Oh, you should have bought them back when Warren Buffett was selling because that was the best time to buy them." Yes, maybe. But you have to ask yourself, is air travel going to grow as much in the next 10 years as it did the last 10 years? And I think no. I think that in the future, people are going to just be traveling less and less and less. So I understand why he would get rid of it.
Kevin Wimmer says Boeing did really well though. More than tripled their price since the end of 2016. Kevin Wimmer says he likes Apple lol.
Yeah.
J-Dub says lol you are so right about that type of buying. Arash says I purchased Air Canada before and lost my position after they went bankrupt.
Ew. Yeah. So I'm just for the type of strategy Warren does, I'm just so surprised that he bought Delta, but whatever. I don't know how significant the position was, but man, I'm mad that I didn't get my when it was up here. I should have been taking it off.
Winston's mom says, Apple, speaking of apples, I have discovered that slices of apples drizzled with honey and sprinkled with salty peanuts makes a delicious snack. Especially if you chill the apple slices first.
With honey? I usually eat cheese with my apples. My wife thinks that that's so bizarre, but apples and cheese are great. Mm-mm-mm. Still nothing, huh?
Kevin Wimmer says at Winston's mom I can recommend that. Also doing the same with my iPhone. J-Dub says I think we will have a new type of travel through super fast tunnels and ride share flights with drone with Uber and Lyft.
Maybe. Or maybe people will just teleconference more. I don't think that working from remote is nearly as efficient. Like, it just from my own job, it seems like people don't get
J-Dub
as much
says
done.
question to the chat. Is Uber a good buy? Why or why not?
Uber.
Winston's mom says my grandfather always asked for a slice of Swiss cheese on his apple pie. I can't quite remember if he had the Swiss cheese on top or on the side. And Kevin, you chill your iPhone? Lol.
I don't think I know enough about Uber to comment on that one. I think that there's going to be a lot of things about where they were as a company before all this happened that are going to matter a lot. Because they were struggling, weren't they? There's a lot of uh, considerations. I don't think that I could just look at where is the economy going. Would Uber be positive in that environment? I think I would need to know a lot more about the individual company. Hmm.
RZH says I'm fine Winston's thanks.
Oh, he lives. I think that the Emini's got another step up to go. Like
Winston's mom says I have been reading the
2600.
Uber is in all sorts of trouble from the drivers getting harassed to other companies like taxi cabs getting outbid by non-licenses drivers. I would not go Uber.
Okay. See, those are the sorts of things that I think will matter more for a company like that. Okay, so a little bit of a bounce. We got few minutes, a minute and a half. I do think that they're going to want to come up and take out the naked point of control at 2600 at some point, but whether or not they do that on the open is an open question. You can kind of see the skeptics coming in and trying to sell it.
J-Dub says I think they were okay before but they were fighting to hold market share. I think they have really shown promise with Uber Eats. With everything going on, delivery is key to the food industry.
So I read this thing from somebody on Reddit saying that they work for a pizza place and that everybody was just doing like you leave it on the doorstep and they already paid for it with their card. And so the pizza delivery guy was not getting tips but he still only gets paid like
Winston's mom says a
$3.50 an
minute
hour.
and a half. We can all wash our hands.
Can you believe that? Okay. 5 seconds. Soon
RJ
come
Wheels
in,
says the delivery guys will be spitting mad.
I bet. Okay.
Winston's mom says what happened with the pizza guy and his tip.
Means he just didn't get the tip.
J-Dub says wow that sucks, I can't believe that happened to the Uber Eats guy.
So I'm sure it's happening to them too. Okay, so I'm not seeing it didn't reset my DOM because I don't have the session set up correctly, I guess. But there was some good buying on the open. They pushed up there. I don't know if it was enough. Now sellers taking a turn. Well, if that was the seller's try, like, holy crap, that was pathetic.
J-Dub says here we go. Let the games begin.
Okay. Just a lot of, okay, that time the sellers really whoosh. I don't know about that one. That's the sort of thing that can flip. Yep. He's not giving up though. Not over yet. They're definitely in price discovery mode.
J-Dub says lol fuck I should have held my cell. Oh well, we will get them next time. J-Dub says how do you decide to make an entry?
So I have a specific turning point at which I look at, and I judge the order flow at that turning point to see if the flow is actually reversed or not. But it is a place at which price has moved sufficiently away from the last volume cluster to start causing people to puke. And you will hear a beep sound when we cross that threshold. So you can see that time we crossed the threshold, and price immediately bounced. So they're not ready to flip yet.
Winston's mom says no fears, no FOMO, embrace the amor fati, lit. Love of fate is a Latin phrase that may be translated as love of fate or love of one's fate. Lol, J-dub.
Well, it's been a pretty tight open. They took me out. I have to say
J-dub
it's
says
not
lol,
really
I love
cooperating
mom.
for me. Not really working out for me today.
Ryan Washington says what is your threshold settings at for MES?
It's just a line. I could tell you what the line is, but I don't think that's particularly useful to you. The key is not the line. The key is the divergence between price and volume.
Winston's mom says 32 watching now, so before the games get too intense and the peanuts in the popcorn galley go pop. Please take a second to hit like, thank you.
See, it looks like that they're stuck there. I'm just still mad because we had like 22 ticks favorable excursion like it should have. Nope. I don't think that was right either. Batch. Okay. Well, so first of all, I need to put that to there. Yeah. So that says it's not working today. So we'll keep practicing with it, but I'm going to do it on a different sim account. At some point, I do think that this is going to turn into a buy, actually. This might be an okay spot for it.
J-dub says I did and subscribed lol.
Good deal. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, I'd highly recommend subscribing to the channel because it's not always easy to find it in the morning, and we're here every morning. So subscribe and hit the bell icon, and that'll make it a lot easier for you to find the channel. It's not as bad as it was for a little while there. We weren't even showing up in searches, but it looks like you could fix that. Well, it's still a slow churn. I have to say, that doesn't look good, right? Like they come right to the spot and then they get shoved back down. I do think at some point this is going to turn around. It's just a question of what the right location is. It's interesting though that since they opened that they have been selling. See, here it is. Here they are again. This one, it looks like it's working well. Coming up more, at least. Wouldn't say that they crossed the
J-Dub says, I
threshold.
feel like there are more
Oh.
traders in the market since all this crazy stuff has happened. What do you think?
No. There is straight up less positions now than there was like a month ago. It's coming back, but there was way more. Yeah, this is just not working. Like, how many times is that gonna fail on me? Hmm? This happens sometimes, so this is the key, is to realize when it's not working. It's not working today. Although a lot of it is just the direction of the trend. So we were getting it long, and it kind of flipped short on us, and could still turn up.
J-Dub says that makes sense. Do you have a Series 3?
No, I don't. I would like
Uzi
get some
Knesset
sort of
says margins at
certification.
2x intraday now.
Okay.
J-Dub says you seem so calm even when the trade flipped, lol, cool, level-headed.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? If I panic, it's not going to help me at all, right? This doesn't mean that I don't
Winston's
feel
mom says
nervous.
it's nice to have you on board. J-Dub, I have been a regular on Speculators' channel for a while now and everyone here is nice, smart and funny.
Now
Seth
that
has Sun Conyers, Ace trades as Mr. Mom, RJ is fun.
now that one's going in my favor, and I decided to add to it a little bit, that makes me nervous. I feel nervous. I'm wondering if I should have this take profit out here or not. Okay. Well, that was good. How much have we gotten out of it so far? I think that there's still some more uptrend to go. Sure are deep pullbacks, though.
J-Dub says lol. Mom is the best, thanks guys, I'll try to be on here more.
Yeah, she is fun. Oh man, the channel has really grown since she come around. I have to thank her so much. She's done a lot for the channel.
Winston's mom says RJ Wheel, I ran out of characters before I could describe your character and you are.
It's looking okay. I think we have a pretty good chance of getting a bit more out of it.
J-Dub says I think you will get a 5% bull run when the market closes.
I don't know. If we get up to 2,600, that's kind of a spot where I think I'll be getting out. If we're so lucky. In the end, though, today is a losing day. We took 3 trades long, didn't work out. This
Air
one may
Cages
end
says
up
what about
canceling
me?
them all out.
What am I? Chopped liver?
Air Cages, you're so hilarious. You're so flippin' hilarious. Oh my gosh.
J-Dub says lol.
Come on. Come on. I would like to see a new high. I would like to see up above 2581. Expand the range. Hmm. Well, I tell you what, we're seeing much bigger numbers print here on the DOM today than we have been. There's a couple of thousands here and there. It's a way more volume.
RJ Wheels says I'm just happy to be mentioned along with the recipes and cool fun facts.
Well, you've been a good contributor. I mean, you're one of the newer ones, right? How long has it been? It's been like, I want to say it's been like 3 weeks since I've seen RJ Will started coming around.
J-Dub says are you a fan of the Robinhood?
Um, so I mean, if you're gonna trade, um, you want zero commissions, and Robinhood is sure a good option for that, and it's certainly expanded the investing audience out there. But I do think that a lot of people misuse it, especially if you're using options to just make wild bets. You know, I'm not so in on all of that life. Okay. Even the micros
Michael
are.
Tedeschi says noob here, just to be clear, we're all watching the bid, asks for spy? Can someone explain?
Yeah.
Winston's mom
Hold
says
on.
chopped liver, maybe a fine pate de foie gras, air cages and you were interrupted by Juliet Ferret so I do apologize, her duck heart came first and now she is duking for joy.
So it's not SPY, but it is S&P 500 futures. It's called ES. So you see right here up at the top, it lists the name of the instrument. And yes, these are bids and asks. So this column, the blue are the bids, the reds are the asks, and the in between are market orders hitting into them. So you can see how many market orders it took to actually clear it, so that you can see if they're adding to the bid or pulling from it, right? So that's kind of, so it's not just that you're paying attention to, it's kind of the interplay between them, because there's four forces essentially that correspond with the four different types of orders: limit buy, market buy, limit sell, market sell. But these are ES futures on the CME exchange. Don't think you can very easily get this kind of information for SPY. And that's the one that always drives me crazy. Is there's so many people out there like on Wall Street Bets or whatever that are saying that they're day trading SPY. And I'm like, why would you day trade SPY? Go and trade micro futures. You get better leverage. It's just a better day trading instrument. Okay, so here comes 81. Oh, they already touched it, in fact. For some reason, the micros didn't. I'm getting a lot of weird divergences between the two instruments. The four forces of the apocalypse. Oh, sorry, I turned you guys off for a second, and now it's not reading it. Let's turn that back on.
J-Dub says, would you ever use the interest idea in the app? Right now it's 0.3%, but will go back up once everything cools off.
I'm not familiar with that, and I don't
Bot
use
says
it myself.
four forces of the apocalypse. Michael Tedeschi says, full disclosure, Wall Street Bets reader tuning in. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for the explanation.
Oh, there you go.
Winston's mom says, didn't Robinhood failed a few times last month? I am reading about their class action suit now in the Washington Post.
Yep, they did. So let me be clear. If you want to day trade, do not use Robinhood. Do not use Robinhood to day trade. But if you want to position trade, it seems like it's an okay option. They're getting a lot of competition though, so I would shop around and make sure that what you're doing is
Winston's mom
appropriate for
says,
you.
we now understand the cause of the outage was stress on our infrastructure, which struggled with unprecedented load. Its founders, Baiju Bot and Vladimir Tenev.
That whole thing, and on the worst days too, like all of those guys that were holding crazy positions. Don't do it through Robinhood. Like if you really want to trade options and day trade options, which is not my thing, so I can't speak to if it's a good idea or not. But I would probably be doing like Interactive Brokers, Tasty Trade, maybe Thinkorswim if you absolutely have to. Thinkorswim is not what it used to be. I'll tell you that much. But really, if you want to scalp, and I mean take short-term trades, really futures are the best way to do it. The thing that drives me crazy about the Wall Street Bets crowd, and kind of the thing that lets you know that they're not the experts that they seem to claim sometimes, is that they don't know a darned thing about futures. That there's so many of those guys out there trading spies. Oh, look at that. Man, they really just absolutely destroyed that high. Wowee. Well, you think that they're going to get to my spot? I think that was maybe
Air
a little
Cages
bit
says
too
stocks
much.
are pretty edgy.
That might have been too much. I think that I should take one off. Come on. Oh. Like it just went again. Like my data feed appears to be having trouble keeping up with it. IQ feed, I thought you were supposed to be good at this sort of stuff. Well, maybe it's because I'm on it. I'm running demo data today. So we're waiting for my data feed. I'm changing my setup a little bit, and I'm still waiting on the email.
J-Dub says MetaTrader fan at all? I like TD, but I just use it for analysis.
MetaTrader is okay. It's not top tier futures trading software, but it's popular because of the Forex guys, So I'm gonna say it's not the best, but it's not awful or anything like that. Look at that. They're holding up here really well. I do think that I need to be really sharp here. Okay. So there is
Air
a
Cages
real
says
chance
TT is the
this
best.
comes back. Yeah, so the best data feed is Trading Technologies. I still kind of feel that Trading Technologies has a few. I think there's been a lot of innovation in the industry that TT hasn't kept up with. Let's say. Come on. I bet you that it goes way past me, but I'm just like the way this is behaving just makes me really nervous for some reason. Like I do think that they could pull back, and we got a good run. Like,
J-Dub says you're going to get that rally I
fine.
told you about, man.
Yeah.
Winston's mom says the first horseman rides a white horse, the second horseman rides a red war horse, the third rides a black horse who is famine, and the fourth horseman rides a pale horse called pestilence and death.
Um, this
Ace Trade says, what was that jump?
Ace, I think that was just all of the shorts getting screwed over. I don't see any news or anything like that. I do see New York
Winston's
Fed
mom says,
purchases
and
7
J-Dub,
billion
allow
in
me to
treasury
introduce you to
coupons.
Bots, who is also a character and a very nice man.
Bots have been trading a long time and is a sage. I consider him a sage, even though we've been having a back and forth lately because there's a lot of things that he looks at that I'm skeptical about their utility, and I'm having a hard time proving them right or wrong. I don't know. This is really difficult. I can see the action and I'm looking at it and I'm like, that is like continuation action. But I know based on the range that it is trading and how far it's gone and everything else like that
J-Dub
I have
says,
to take
lol,
it off.
thanks. Nice to meet you, Bots. Bots says TT doesn't really need to keep up given they are the original patent holders for a dumb, happy collecting their patent royalties from everyone else.
Yeah. But I mean, so like with TT, because somebody made a comment about that on my what's the best platform, and when you look at TT, just look at all these things, like the columns in the middle, for instance, they don't have. I don't think they have the little trails that they do now, and Jigsaw's gonna be adding all of this stuff to coordinate the DOMs with their charts and stuff like that. Like the customization options that you have with Jigsaw, you don't get that in TT. With TT, there's a DOM and there's a couple of little settings and that's it. And it's pretty standard what you get. So you can't change it a ton. So that's where I feel like I don't think that TT is the best DOM. I think that TT has the best data. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a good point too, Air Cages. This is something that I always forget.
Air Cages says TT really shines with spreads.
Yeah. TT, the spreads is something that the other platforms can't even begin to compare with.
Ryan Washington says, what do you think about Sierra compared?
So I think that Sierra Charts is a good platform, especially if you're starting and you're looking for like minimum investment. I mean, like with Sierra Charts, you don't have to put anything up front. You can get the basic stuff for like what, $25 a month or something, and it's like 30 or 40 for the advanced stuff. That's pretty good.
Gary Rich says at Bots, here we go again. Should the wolf step in and teach this puppy another lesson?
But they I mean, their software isn't as good as, like, their DOM isn't as good as Jigsaw. Most of what you get in Sierra Charts is copies of features that other people came up with, and they don't implement them quite as well. But for what we're doing, probably doesn't matter. So that's where I'm like, if you're starting out, I think Sierra Charts would be a great option. I mean, for our
Ace Trade says at
group,
Ryan Washington, I use both, and I like NT8 a bit more.
You like NTA a little bit more. I do think Ninja Trader is better than Sierra Charts, but NTA in the long run costs you more, right? I mean, you can step in and you can just get the lifetime license right
Jason
at the beginning.
Bond says, good morning.
Hey, good morning. No, the spreads is something that is really head and shoulders above everybody else. I'm wondering, I still don't think that I've gotten my no. Well, let's come in here and try and do it this way. I don't think that I've gotten it, but because it's CQG, I might have difficulty. It might take them a bit. We'll see. But the TT, I mean, look, we can open it up and I can show you. All right, we'll just do it that way. Because Gary says you're such a jigsaw. I totally am. I listen. If you're like a retail trader and you're not like making a ton of money, TT does not make sense. It straight up does not. The features that you get in TT that that make it so great, you're probably not going to use, and the platform cost is going to bury you. We can open it up here, but I don't think that it's, well, I think it'll still work. Let's try it. Since I got that trade and that one worked out, and so that would be the end for me. Let's see if I open up TT, if it'll still show it to me. Oh, it wants me to update it. Let's install the update really quick. Install update. If the virus death count continues to grow at the current exponential rate, then expect to see 2,000 killed per day in the U.S. starting this week. Yeah, this is when it's going to start to get, when it's going to start to hit people how bad it is. Because right now people are like, oh, see, it's only 1,000. It's fine. And it's like, yeah, it's not going to stay that way, guys. See if it opens. Should go now. Is it loading, or did it just like install and then shut down? Wasn't really paying attention. Let's try clicking the open again. Okay. Now access. Let's see if I can remember.
Winston's mom says, what did one wolf say to another? Let's go catch some fast food.
It wants me to change my password. Nope, I don't think it'll let me do it. Can I not? I thought that it would let you use delayed data
Air
even
Cages
after.
says 36 watching.
Nope, I guess not. Man, well, I wish I could show you guys, because, I mean, you can see the differences. The point was just the customization options that you get on the TT DOM. There aren't even half. Like, it was hard to even change the font size. They've got like the DOM, it's set up the way that they got it, and you trade it that way. And the people that have been using TT, they like it that way, but it's not customizable. So when you go and talk about
Air Cages
that the
says seems
TT
you
DOM is
recovered your
better,
stream nicely.
and when we talk about that TT is better, the reason it's better is because of the data, not because of the DOM itself. Although the DOM is like very performant, but it's not the most feature-rich one out there. The most feature-rich DOM is absolutely Jigsaw, from my experience. And supposedly it's about to get better, but and you can do spreads with the TT.
Air Cages says I love the TT DOM. Keeping it simple.
Well, there you go. Sorry. There. Wow, did all of that, and then it ended up not working out. I'm mad that I still don't get. Another thing is that TT seems to be putting a lot of their development into things that I don't think we care about. You
Air
know what I mean?
Cages says how come your desktop so? Air
So
Cages says clean?
It's not clean. We need to fix it. We don't need that. We don't need that or that. And this goes over here.
Air Cages says what are you hiding, Seth? Scott Hamp says if we hit 5% up will they halt trading?
No, they will not. So the circuit breakers. So hold up. I don't want to get interrupted while I'm explaining this. And while we're at it, we need to connect back in. Okay. Oh, that's not the one we wanted. We wanted IQ feed. Dirt. Okay. So the way that the circuit breakers work is there is a 5% limit that only applies overnight. The 5% limit only applies overnight. So if you go 5% up or 5% down overnight, they will hit a limit. There are then 7, 14, and 20% limits, I believe it is. But those are only on the downside. So there's not going to be any upside limit. That makes sense. Anyways, yeah, I try and keep my desktop like very, what is the word? Pristine. I made it very blank, and it's just utilitarian. Like there's grid lines on it. I have grid lines there so that it can help me adjust my windows, and that's it. That's all I need. Don't want some, crazy anime girl or something. I don't want like, minimize the desktop and people are like, well, what's that? What's this? What's with this, picture of Ray Ayanami on the background and stuff, Anyways, so I went and I found the most professional background that I could think of.
Scott Hamp says okay, awesome, thank you.
Man, I don't know why I should be getting stuff from Amp. So I changed my data feed today and I tried to set up with CQG. I've had issues with CQG in the past because they were like I had gotten too many demos from them and they blacklisted me. This was like early start, but it still does this to me. And now I'm trying to switch over to them. I don't know if the thing it sent it in or what, because I haven't gotten any emails back from it yet. Maybe I should try going here into AMP and see if it sees something like when I log in.
Gary Rich says TT is for advanced, not amateurs.
Well, that's certainly true. Yeah, because like I said, like the features that are going to make you money from TT are going to be like the auto spreader, which, for a retail guy trading very small size are probably not that useful, I would like to get more into, I wish I understood how that worked because maybe we could see it in order flow. But
Air Cages says you should see my mess of a desktop. Colorful and disorganized. I don't think you could handle it.
my point was that TT could stand to take a couple of features from the Jigsaw, and it would make TT better. There's a couple of features that Jigsaw has that I think are cool. They're kind of frills. They're kind of more things that are like trying to show you things that you could already see with TT's DOM, just make them stand out to you a little bit better. But I think that those sorts of things matter. So I think that anything you can do to help you execute better is worthwhile. See, they did get up to 2600. I could have held it for the whole thing. Really could have. I just wish that I hadn't have taken all of those bad trades before. That they hadn't fought me so hard, 5 points, that would have been another. Would have gotten me to like 350, I think. It's a good trade in the end. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Air Cages says the TT auto spreader is a beast. I don't think you can get it in the free demo though.
Oh, really? I think that there was, when I was doing the demo, that there was different tiers of demo that I could set up, and I didn't
Gary
try
Rich
the
says it
bigger one.
bots looks like we blew past the 2.8% range on S.
It was a pretty good move up. So coming back over to this, where is my okay? This one right here. So when I took it long at, I mean way down there, 72. So I took it at 72. Why was it 72? Oh, that was just my average price. I actually got it down here and then I added to it here. Okay. When we got up here and we did this, and then I took it off somewhere in here. But when you look at this right here, that's just kind of giving you an idea of how far that moved compared to the range. And anything over 1 is pretty solid. I don't think I've ever seen it go more than 1.5. So that's already telling you that, like, you got a good run. So I'm thinking about taking it off. And I thought 2600 was the target, but I decided to trust my short-term indicators
Bots says
that
the
told
way
me
they're
that I
running they could
was,
be at 5% before we know it from prior Globex close.
yeah.
Gary
I
Rich says Dow past the 2.9% range.
I decided to rely on my short-term indications of when you've gotten enough profit out of it, and said, "Oh, well, it looks to me like it's going to go more, but if it goes more, oh well." So that's why I did that, but it certainly could hold it. And like John is saying, I mean, when we come back here into this, so here's kind of the setup. I was looking for this untouched point of control. Okay. Now, when we get into a previous section of profile, there's a tendency to go through. So you've kind of got this little bit of profile here. So there's a tendency that we're going to trade up to here, which means that we can go just a little bit further. But then there's this whole big thing right here. Now, they appear so bullish right now that they could go for it. So it's possible what John is talking about, for sure. I don't know if it's probable or how probable it is, but it's definitely a possibility right now. Mm-mm. 8:13. I think we'll probably end early today. I really hope that I get my thing earlier. If I don't have it tomorrow morning, then I'm gonna have to message them. But I definitely went in and submitted the thing, and it said it was doing it. So I don't know why I'm not getting any kind of notification that it received that, but kind of sucks. A little frustrated. So I was reading this thread here. I wanted to see. Cleaning. So I'm wondering now. You guys are quiet now. Are we? No, we're good. I was wondering if we ran out of uh, requests to do the bot, but no, it's only 8:16. We're fine. So now I'm thinking, what about correlations here? Well, on that big move up, I did not see the treasuries really react to that much at all. In fact, the treasuries were moving up at the time. I think that part of that move might have been related to the auction that was going on in the treasuries. When I'm looking at some of these uh, currencies, I don't see significant movement in the currencies either, although it does look like that all of these are
Gary Rich says
trending
just like
down.
crude was a 8.5% EXP move and did it in yesterday's open.
We have a huge up day. The market is definitely acting like they think the worst of it is over. That's the only explanation I can come up with from the tape. I mean, when I came in, like with all that selling, I took it how many times? You can see I said, okay, I'll switch here because that was 4 in a row. Fine.
Anonymous says hi sir.
Hey, how are you? And then we took those ones and that one worked. But uh we weren't in line with the trend, but I knew that it was a buy day. Knew it was a buy day, and everything else was telling me that it was
Anonymous
a buy
says I
day.
am a big fan of yours, starstruck.
Oh, you are? Oh, thank you so much. I've decided to come out of lurking then? Is that what? Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Anonymous says, sir, in which stock are you trading?
Well, so I took a trade in the micro ES futures. Took a couple of trades, but we got the trade that we wanted. So I guess we're done for the day. So I'm reading something here. These guys are talking about order flow and wondering how useful order flow is, and
Anonymous
I'm
says,
just reading what
okay,
they think
thank
about it.
you.
My opinion is that I think that some people have held order flow up as some sort of a holy grail, which it ends up not being. Uh,
Anonymous says, sir, what's your favorite stock for intraday trading?
So, if you want to trade intraday, I would not recommend trading stocks. I would recommend trading futures. If you have a small account, then trade micro futures. But futures are a much better vehicle for day trading because you get better leverage. It's easier to manage your risk with the stops. There's lots of liquidity. You can see all of the data. You can see everything that's going on. Um, it's a much more fair game in that respect. And oh, I need to move my window back over to here. And there's also some tax benefits to it.
Anonymous says, okay, got it.
So we trade futures, and I like to look at the DOM. I like to see the book.
Anonymous says, sir, for how long have you been trading futures?
So we've been trading futures since about November of 2016, I'd say. So 3.5 years now, maybe. Sorry, I'm so quiet today. It's just like I got my thing, and it is kind of like it's an interesting day. I got to tell you, the action before the open was very deceptive, wasn't it? Because it was quite slow, and I thought it was going to go up, and then they sold a little bit first, and then they came out and bought. And when they bought, it was like insane. It was like an insane long. So they were really being tricky today. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Anonymous says, okay, good experience you must be having then.
Yeah. I'm just reading this thread because I feel like I have a couple of insights to share with these people on Futures IO that answer some of the question. Like, how long has this been going? Since the 29th, huh? I'll always get these messages in my email, and I'm like, is Mike going, oh yeah, Seth would love to talk about that. Let's send him a message about it. How does it know? How does it know that?
Anonymous says, sir, I think that you should buy here.
Nah, we're done. I already made my money.
Bots says tricky, as in they failed to take out the overnight low and started to reverse 5 minutes after RTH open.
Well, it's like coming back to here. Wrong trade.
Anonymous says it will go up more, according to me.
This is where we got in. This is where I got in. And I felt like that at that point it was pretty obvious. That's why I added to my trade. But here, let's say around this area, somewhere in here, tricky, I felt. How would you know that on the open it was going to trade down first? No way to know. And everything that I was looking at was said buy. Everything that I was looking at said buy. So I tried taking it a couple of times and it just didn't work. And then it flipped and I made, and it just so happens that this was so big that it ended up wiping out those losses. But it was like really slow. And I just thought, like, right in here, this whole area was actually quite slow. I felt that was very, I think that well, and not only that, but just the way that when they came up to here, where was it? Like right here? Yeah, it was right there.
Bots says 2 goes 3 on the open, your red bar.
Yeah. This one says to me that a lot of retail traders tried to short it. I think a lot of people tried to sell it. And they just got
Anonymous says, sir,
blown
what is the
away.
maximum profit have you made so far?
Well, what do you mean by maximum? Like the biggest one? I've made $1,000 on a trade before, I believe, if I recall correctly. Or was it 500? I don't even remember anymore. On a live trade, I think the most I've ever made is 500. I've certainly had.
Bots says yep, and they got punched in the nose.
Yeah, they got punched in the nose. Totally. It was like, I guess my question is, or the thing that I'm trying to think through is,
Anonymous says only $1,000.
What should I have been looking for to have told me to take this trade right here instead? Well, how let me draw correctly.
Ace Trade says it anonymous only. Go fuck yourself.
What tell me that I should have taken that trade instead of, say, that one right there? Because
Anonymous says I have made around $2,500.
Well, good for you. This whole area right here, see? That's where I was losing.
Gary Rich says, Seth, you seriously need to get professional training on how to trade and read the tape.
Okay, Gary. I think that this is working okay. Yeah, I don't know. The tape wasn't. I mean, I think when you go back and you look at it, that the tape was kind of random there. You know. But if you have a specific recommendation to make, then I'm all ears. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no offense, Gary, but to come in and say, this you don't understand this, or you don't whatever, oh, you're terrible, pretty useless to me. People will come in and try and troll you, and you know what? That kind of shit does not phase or affect me at all. I don't care. People say all sorts of shit. I can't tell you how many people. It is a very common thing. Like just here with like this anonymous. I know how this one goes because it's happened like 12 times. Okay. This guy, he comes in. Oh, I think you should buy it here. I think that you should do X. I've made so much money. And then what happens is there will be this time where I'll come in and be like, no, I don't think so. And he'll say, no, I'm so certain I'm gonna like double and triple down. And then he ends up losing everything. And this has happened. Like, remember that guy? It was a couple of years ago. Remember when that guy came in and he was like starting shit in our channel, and then he went and he started his own trading room, and he took a trade, and he was trading with volume profile, and he went long on the treasuries, and then the treasuries lost like 2 points, and he held it through the whole thing and blew his account on a Zoom call. No, it wasn't Vinny. It was somebody else. I don't remember who it was. I don't even remember the guy's name anymore. But that's happened. Some of my best trades have been when somebody comes into chat and starts giving me trouble. Not gonna lie, you know. But people come in and say all sorts of shit, and how can you verify what they're saying is true? You know, even people that have come in and I trust and I know have some edge. They might believe something that's incorrect, and you have to look at like each individual thing. Like that's the thing that's so hard is like each individual thing, is there really edge to it? And there's all of this huge long thing to even know if there's something to it or not. There's this big huge long thing of investigation like this one that I'm using right now that appears to have some edge to it. We've been working on this now, like me figuring it out and proving to myself that it works for months, and I'm still not as good at it as I'd like. I still have some hard time identifying which trades are the ones that I really want to take. So when you come in and you say, "Oh, well," he's like, "You have to give me something specific." So if it's something specific, like you say, "Well, you should use this particular indicator with these specific settings and trade it like this." Like the more specific the better. And then I would be like, okay, I'll go and back test it and try it. But when people come in and just say, "Oh, you need to do better," I'm just like, whatever, dude. People say shit, who cares? You know what I mean? Oh, you and Warren are tight. Say hi Elon to us. You're a joke. I know, right? Hey, I thought the stream was over and you started the rants. No, well, I was reading this thread over here, and then somebody decided to come in and try and troll me. I mean, we can. This stock's price will go down about 1% more. Now, listen, you know what? You know what, buddy? You can go into timeout for a little bit. Because you have no clue what you're talking about. It's so obvious that you're just trying to troll us. He keeps talking about stock. He doesn't even realize that we're trading futures. I don't think he even understands what he's looking at on the screen. It's funny, right? Yeah.
Ace Trade says it anonymous which stock, Mr. Vague.
Well, and the thing that's funny is he came in and he's like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of yours, Mr. Seth." You know what? I tell you what. If there is one way to make me suspicious about somebody, it is to come in and start praising me. people that just come in and just like automatically, "Oh, you're so great, Seth." All right. What scam are you pulling?
Air Cages says maybe he meant socks.
Well, if he meant socks, then maybe we should untime him out, because I'm having trouble with socks. I keep losing them all. You know what happened? My my son, my stepson, is now old enough that, because the sock size that you use, this like a wide range of socks, right? You know, it's like 6 to 12 or whatever it is. And so I'm at the top end of the range on that sock size, and he's at the bottom end of that range on that sock size. So um, he apparently was low on socks, and so my wife was like, "Well, we'll give him some of Seth's socks," and then she ended up giving him all of my socks. So there's like, I have like 4 pairs of socks, and he has like 20 pairs of socks. I lost all of my socks. Seth, yes, Seth, keep digging around, and it'll take you 10 years before you make real money. Then Gary, give a specific recommendation. Then give a specific recommendation, or I don't want to hear it because it's not helpful. And we're not digging around. We have something that's been working really well. So I don't know why you would troll me like that. But I mean, that that's not the case. Come on. Said, don't dig with me. I like you in your prison, but don't dig with me. But I'm not. I'm just saying, like, you have to give me something more specific than that, dude. It's like, okay, Gary says that I'm not on the right track, but what is the right track? You're not giving me enough direction to see anything. I mean, you gave me like one thing that I don't know. Like, let me back up. You came in and you said, "Oh, use this particular moving average." Well, okay. I don't know what to tell you.
Air Cages says Gary is having a bad hair day. Cranky wanky.
Yeah. I'm not gonna kick Gary. But it's here's one of the things that you guys gotta understand. Ed Lamy says, "Come on, kick it."
Ed Lammy says, "Come on, kick this guy out of the room."
Thanks for sticking up for me. So there's 2 things that you gotta understand here about me. Okay. The first thing is, I have an extremely high disagreeable personality. So when somebody comes in and tells me that I'm wrong about something and I'm certain that I'm right, I have 0 reservations in telling them to go fuck themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I do not have a hard time going against the crowd in adversity. All of those experiments they did, shock the guy. The authority says to shock the guy. Will you conform? A bunch of people get into an elevator and everybody stands the wrong way. Will the test subject turn around to face the same way that they are? And there's like 5% of people that I'm that 5%. Okay. I'm just telling you, I'm super stubborn like that. So he knows, and Gary's been around for a while. He knows that if he tells me something, if people come in and start crap, that it doesn't really faze me at all. In the elevator, I not only don't turn, I pick their pockets as well. Yeah, so that's partially, just me. And then the second thing that you got to understand is that we've been doing this for a long time, and we have like a really small core group of guys that are here every day that we know each other really, really well. So Gary knows that he can talk to me like that because he's proven himself many times over, I think. He's never shown me like stats or anything, and he doesn't post live trades or anything, but he's certainly shown us that he knows what he's talking about. So I'm not just going to dismiss him, and he's been a good follower. So I'm going to listen to him. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that Gary knows the best way to get to me or the best strategy that would work for me. It says I gave you a very simple system to use, but you didn't think, you amateur. Oh, okay. Well, I used. He gave me a weighted moving average. Was the only thing I really remember about that. You need to be in this room for at least 12 months before you can start busting successful. Well, anybody that comes in immediately and starts doing stuff. Like that guy, his name was an anonymous, obviously trolling, right? It's fine. And it's okay because we're not in a trade or anything like that. Like, we had us, in the end, a successful day, but not really a successful day. It was on sim, and there was a lot of bad trades before it went our way. So clearly, some stuff that we'd have to work out, yeah. Which kind of makes me wonder up in here for Ace, since it looks like you're here. Um, did you were you going short up in here? In this area between, oh no, wait, that's too far. Where is it? I've lost my way. Between 710 and 7. Oh gosh, dang it, that's what happened. So trying to zoom in on it. Up in here. I guess that 10-minute bar was red at points, but like especially this one right here. No, and not even that. It was like all through here. It was like it looked green to me. I don't know. Like especially that one right there. 2777. I really want to go long on that one.
Arash says finally my margins changed to intraday.
I don't know. Another thing with Gary is one of the concerns that I have is like, he certainly has some profitable. He's shown us making money, but not with scalping. So you're gonna have to show me something. It's gonna have to be specific that I can actually like test out and prove. And just like, I'll put this line on the chart and then figure it out is not gonna be good enough. It's gonna have to be like a specific setup that I can test to prove it to myself. It does look like that their margins are coming back down to like normal. I think they should probably keep them still elevated maybe for a couple of weeks, but we'll see. I think this market might get really weird. Like it's either going to bounce really, really hard or it's going to start to get crazy volatile again. You know what I mean? Because maybe some bad news comes out and it's like a really bad day, and then it's not so bad and it's really, I think that we're going to start getting into that sort of nonsense, Oil under some fresh pressure, down 6%. Oh, Larry Kudlow speaking. Says the president doesn't want the cure to be worse than the problem. The health side has to come first. The health side must continue to come first, and the mitigation.
Winston's mom says compliance psychology and Stanley Milgram electroshock experiment showed 65% of people would deliver the maximum, possibly fatal electrical shocks on the orders of an authority figure.
Yeah. I would not do it. I mean, I've never been in that, but my personality is I'm less likely to do that. My brain is different. So what's one that's really weird is that one where the people are passing a ball around and you're supposed to count how many times the ball gets passed around, and then in the middle of it a monkey comes through and like beats his chest.
Ace Trade says at Winston's mom it was amazing to learn all about that. Sad, really.
But that one doesn't. I immediately see it. ADHD brain, I immediately see it. And I sit there and I'm like, how can anybody miss that? Like, seriously, are you guys all dumb? How do you miss that? But like most people do, apparently. Anyways, enough bragging. I don't know. That's not supposed to happen, you know? 76, 75. So part of it was like, this is like trying to play the same spot, right? And this is trying to play the same spot. But then in the end, I ended up buying much higher. So like, part of it is how tight my stop is and how much it's moving, I guess. Because they went down and just like hit me on the stop run and then immediately came back a couple of times. It was like really bad positioning. Mm-mm. I'm kind of waiting for.
Winston's mom says Ace trades. Have you heard of the invisible gorilla experiment? Fascinates me. During a basketball game, people are asked to count the balls a gorilla runs up and down the court. People don't notice it.
I am kind of like to the point where I'm like, well, now would be a great spot to stop the stream, but I want to see my little error message pop up that when we run out of requests. So I've got to wait until the top of the hour. So I will wait.
Ace Trade says at Winston's mom, yes. Seth was just saying that. I noticed the gorilla immediately and kept track of bounces. Winston's mom says and apparently only wash their hands about 65% of the time, and usually that's only when other people are in the restroom with them. Lol.
Before all this, I definitely didn't wash my hands all the time.
Reaction_guy says, sir, WTF is that Erskrian? Ace Trade says at Winston's mom, speaking of washing our hands, when can we shower again, or is it just our hands still? Gary Rich says, Seth, I gave you that simple example because I wanted you to back test it and figure a way to trade that very simple system. Then ask me questions.
Okay. So
Ace
wait.
Trade says at reaction_guy, have you ever heard of NORAD? Cheyenne Mountain? This is what we are doing, keeping America safe.
Let's go back and look.
Winston's mom says, when can we shower again? Oh my, Ace Trades, you make me blush. Lol.
Man. Where are you? Can't remember your username in Discord, but I do remember what your profile, what your picture looked like.
Ace Trade says at Winston's mom, I didn't mean together.
I think it was a while. I got so many deleted users. It's ridiculous.
Ace Trade says at Winston's mom, but now that is all I'm thinking about. Great. Now I do need a shower.
It's like a picture of a husky. Oh, there you are. There you are. So you're giving me a bunch
Winston's mom says, Ace Trades, I worked with NORAD when I was assigned to the CONUS ROCC. Why do you ask? And speculators' chart has always reminded me of the radar sites, a cold shower, ace trades, lol. Ace Trade says at Winston's mom I was pulling that guy's chain. I wanted him to think he had stumbled into the command center.
Here it is. That's right. So like, the one that you gave me. So here's kind of the thing, Gary, was the one that you gave me ended up being very similar to what I've been using with Ace. But it was much higher time frame. Well, I was putting it on a 5 minute. Maybe I need to put it on a 1 minute. But and it's kind of the same problem areas too. You know what I mean? So there's kind of this question of like you'll get a signal and sometimes it really, really works and sometimes it's a false signal, and how do you deal with that? It was kind of still where I'm going, and in this case, today, it was it was like right on the edge. So maybe I shouldn't have been taking it because of that, because it was so unclear, but I don't know. Then you do that one and then you'll miss the other ones, so it's hard. But I what I'm talking about more right now is like, okay, so if I took a trade and there was something about that trade that you thought was bad, what was the specific thing about it? What was the situation or thing that would have told me that I shouldn't have taken that? You know what I mean? I think would be more useful to me. Just a thought. But please don't just give the criticism for criticism's sake, if that makes sense. Like don't just come and beat me down. That doesn't help either. That just is gonna make me less likely to listen to you in the future. Oh, is it not reading these? No, it's reading these out. Oh, it did it. It did it. Oh, sweet. Okay. The request could not be completed because you expedited your AVIs. And then it shut down. So that makes me happy. You speak dancing in the phonetic alphabet. Ace Trades, you truly are a treasure. Oh. He speaks the phonetic alphabet. He's the Hotel Sierra for sure, huh? Oh, guys, you're so funny. I'm glad. Sometimes when people come in and give me a hard time on the stream, like it can really tilt me. So I'm glad that I'm able to take it in good humor today. I guess part of it is that we had a good trade in the end, so that helps. I'm happy that it stopped the interval, so it's not just doing this over and over and over again. So very, very good. Okay, guys, so that was all we were waiting for. So I think it's time for me to get going. I don't know. I wonder if I get my stuff yet. Yeah, we'll see. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime,